What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. And you've heard us talking about it. Queen of the Ring, the highly anticipated film about the story of Mildred Burke, is hitting theaters on March 7th. And joining us on the show today, somebody who knows the Mildred Burke character very, very well, somebody who is playing her in the movie. Give it up for Emily Bett Rickards on the show. How are you? Thanks for coming on.
Hello, thanks for having me.
We are super excited to have you on the show. So let's kind of just jump right into it. You've taken on this role of wrestling pioneer Mildred Burke in Queen of the Ring. What drew you to this character, and how do you prepare physically and mentally to embody such a trailblazing figure in wrestling history?
Well, I think not knowing her story until the moment I read the script, you know, from the words immediately lifting off the page, I was like, who is this woman? Why don't I know about her? How many people don't know about her? You know, she's not in sort of the larger zeitgeist, which I think is where she always wanted to be. So I think she'll be pretty happy about this.
Yeah.
She's an inspiring, like you said, trailblazer, but she was also this person that just stood up in the face of adversity, you know, had a dream, against all odds. I was like, I'm going to keep doing that no matter what you say. Mm-hmm. And that's an inspiring story. You know, it's kind of an underdog story. It's about believing in yourself. It's about, powering strength from within. You know, these are all lessons I feel like, as a human experience, we can all relate to. So that, you know, that was, I guess, an easy part of it. Not that she's an easy woman to kind of dive into, but and then preparing physically and mentally, you know, they go hand in hand to a certain extent with this character, because building her physicality was a part of building how she walked out in the world. So putting muscle on my body also gave me how her spine reacts, and how you hold yourself is also really what shows you internally. So these things are all really connected. As far as like programming goes for building that kind of stature isn't something, I'm an athletic person, always have been very active, but putting on muscle like that in that capacity wasn't my body. Mm-hmm. But yeah, very, you know, strict nutrition program, not strict in a way it was undesirable, but just like scheduled. You know, there's a macros, which are your macronutrients, counting your proteins, carbs, and fat. And then also a very well-timed program on how to build that muscle whilst getting all the sort of recovery time that you need as well. And so that created Mildred Burke in the movie that you will see.
Yeah, absolutely. Which you're going to be able to watch it in theaters March 7th. And, you know, we've got a couple of friends that were in the movie. One that you had a lot of time with, Camille and Tony Storm. How was it stepping into the world of professional wrestling? Because, I mean, it's no small feat. You watch it on TV and you see your friend Stephen Amell, who does it on a TV show, and he's done it. How do you step into that? Like, your first thought as you get inside the ring?
Yeah. Actually, my first call was to a buddy here, Brady Malibu, who's a wrestler. And I said, hey, I'm about to be thrown into the ring, like in the deep end. And I don't know much about wrestling, which I think was, I should say I didn't know much about wrestling at the time, which I think was also a blessing, because I had no judgments or sort of knowledge about it. Right. Like I was just coming as really a blank page. And that's very helpful, you know, when we don't have our kind of own likes or dislikes about something. It's just like, okay, paint me, let's do it. Right. Let's learn, let's cover this canvas. And, you know, working with the wrestlers that I had the honor of working with on this, it really is all to them, because they were just guides throughout the whole thing. I mean, you'll watch, you say Camille on screen. Kaylee was just like in my ear all the time, sort of telling me and guiding me and you know, even when it looks like she's the one, I mean, she always looks like she's not guiding really, like, but she's doing it. So I'm in the hands of pros, y'all. Like, it's just, I'm being molded. And I think when you're in that position, it's about letting go of all your resistance and just trusting the ride. And I think that's why I love acting so much anyway. It's a lot about that, regardless of the character or the action or whatever. It's just kind of about, okay, you know, and a constant trust and let go in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been nailing these answers, by the way. Excellent responses.
Well, shoot. don't. It's like I should do it.
By the end of this interview, you're going to have all types of wrestling lingo down. So if you do any more, they're going to be like, have you been watching wrestling all your life?
Yeah.
Right? Well, let's see. We shot this movie in the summer of 2023. And with the time since, I would say maybe my jargon has gotten a little rusty again.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I mean, I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's still there. Like I could access it. Like, let's do a test. Do you have a quiz ready for me?
Eli, you got a quiz ready? Go for it.
Here we go.
Do you know mark and heel?
Sorry?
Do you know what a mark and a heel is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So a heel's like the bad guy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very good.
And the mark is the mark the one.
Mark's for
not
the
a kid.
fans.
Yeah, marks.
Yeah, okay,
are
like
fans.
in the audience, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes that can have a negative connotation, but that's technically what it is.
See, look, she still was able to go grab
We even
it.
got the technical.
Yeah.
Look at
What about
that.
do you know what the gorilla position is?
No, but I feel like
You know what? They may not have
You want
had
me
that.
to-
back
I don't
in
think
the
they
day.
had that back in the day.
actually.
I don't think
That
they
was
had that back in the
cheating. I
day.
don't think they had that. It's basically like where the producers sit to control the matches. That's kind of the-
Like where the director sits behind all the screens
the
and then
Eagles
says
desk.
cut.
yeah.
Oh, it's Video Village.
It's like
Yes.
video, that's exactly what I was about to say. Monitors and Video Village. Yes,
Oh
exactly.
my
So,
gosh, I love that.
kudos.
We
do
should
you actually-
change that on film. We should call it the gorilla position.
Right. And it's actually named after a famous wrestler who's a gorilla. So that was, or Gorilla Monsoon. Yeah.
That's
so,
I am gonna step up to the plate. Thanks
Right.
to y'all.
I mean,
Look at
you weren't as
that.
rusty as you were thinking. So, so we did mention something fun. Your former co-star on Arrow, Stephen Amell,
Yeah.
he was on a wrestling related project, Heels, where he was involved with CM Punk and AJ Lee, Queen of the Ring. We mentioned Camille, Tony Storm, Naomi, and actually I forgot this connection. Kelly Berglund, who is in
Yeah.
Queen of the Ring, was in Heels. So there's
Was
a
in
lot of
Heels.
synergy. Yeah. You think there's any chance of you and Steven collaborating on something wrestling related down the road?
Well, I mean, never say never.
And who would win in a wrestling match, you or him?
Well, probably me. I mean,
I
I'm
would say
clearly-
probably you as well.
I'm clearly the face.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. You would have to be.
Clearly.
Right.
And I think he'd enjoy playing the heel because every actor does.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say never. I think I'd have to, maybe get my muscles back. I think he keeps his. He's just like, a specimen of a human. But, I could, if you guys are setting this up, just make sure I have some gym time and we can just eat a lot of chicken.
A lot of
we
chicken.
just throw things in the universe,
Yeah, throw it.
It sticks. Yeah.
Whatever happens. I know Steven's trying to do something with Heels coming back, possibly on Netflix. So maybe we see you jump onto Heels. Who knows? We're putting things into the universe because that's what we do here on this show.
We can make a show called Faces,
There we go.
Yes,
and then they can meet.
Absolutely.
There you
I
go.
mean,
That writes itself right there.
I think we're making things happen here.
Well,
I mean, just the other day I was.
Steven to pitch Netflix Faces because if Heels is done, just do Faces.
Yes, absolutely. Like just the other day, I was talking to Scott Wolf, and he's talking about redoing Double Dragons, and we try to get him to do that. So, I mean, we're just manifesting things here on this show.
Triple Dragons, Quadruple Dragons, you can do
Yes.
Yep.
So I want to talk about the movie Queen of the Ring. It premiered at the Buffalo International Film Festival, had rave reviews. A lot of people talked about it. And of course, with everybody talking about it, we're now getting it in theaters on March 7th. How have audiences reacted to the film so far with reaching out to you? And what messages do you hope viewers take away after they watch this movie?
Well, the messages that I have seen and that I have heard and been told to me actually face to face, have all been positive. I think I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing the wrestling community has high critique of certain things, much like the comic book community, as we should for things that we love. And thus far, it has been very well received. And I think, we put a lot of heart into this story, but it really the heart of our heart is Mildred Burke. And like, this is her life. This was who she was. This is her story. And there's a lot of it that we couldn't fit in there. So if you have a chance to read Sex, Muscles, and Diamonds by Jeff Lean, which the script was based off of, there's a lot more information in her life in there as well. And I hope that people take away from this film the ability to self-inspire because I think that there is such a benefit to the world when you go after what you want with true intention, if what you sort of desire. And to know what your desire is actually takes a lot of self-knowledge, right? So when we get to know ourselves like that, we just create a better environment all around us it could be just immediate, your friends, your family. But as far as Mildred Burke's actions went, she, changed the face of equality for women. She was, like you said, a trailblazer in not only her field, but for her era. And we're still feeling the effects of that today, across the world, but especially in North America, because this is where she was from. And the privileges that I have are due to women like her, women like my grandmother, that I'm reaping the benefits, and to carry that torch on is sort of the goal. No matter your gender, your sex, where you're from, that's an inspiring story.
Exactly. Right. Well, it has been a blast chatting with you today. We wish we had more time with you. We could talk all day, it sounds like, but we appreciate the time you allowed us. And, do you have any final words before we let you go?
Well, if you guys were in the same room next time, we could just set up a little bit of a match and you could show me some moves. That would be awesome. I don't usually make requests, but if I knew to make that one, that would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some friends that have wrestling rings.
Throw elbows. Yeah. Here in Nashville,
you do.
We've got quite a few friends of ours that have wrestling rings, and so we can make that happen. So next time you're in Nashville, let us know. We'll bring you into the actual studio on Broadway, and then we'll get something set up.
Oh my gosh, amazing! Well, we're there for a premiere on
next week.
What's the date of Nashville? Is it the 27th?
February 27th, I believe.
I got my schedule in. There we go.
So we'll be there next week. And again, thank you for everything, and thanks for chatting with us today.
Thanks.